Okay, got it.
There we go. And we are recording and we are here.
Yay. So bring up some notes.
So nice to have you all here. If you're here live or if you're watching the recording, it's still very nice. So good to have you here because we are very excited about this evening and about this very special topic for us.
Sarah's logging on all the way from Cyprus, so she's probably the furthest. And I'm in the UK at the moment.
Yep. So English is not my first language, so please bear with me. I'm trying my best. I think it's fine enough to get through, but it's not my main language, so just Shall we start? You want me to?
I think, yeah, let's do it. It's recording. Let's go.
We are recording, yes.
Yeah. Okay, that's me. Can you guys see that? I think the screen's got a bit funny.
Oh, really?
A little bit. Can you? Oh, well, it's coming on. Can you just raise your hands if that's clear or if that's it's just a little bit.
I can see it.
You can see it. Okay, brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so I just want to welcome everyone for coming firstly. And like Sarah said, this is such a special topic for me and Sarah, and it's something that I've been meaning to do for quite a while now. 2 months ago, I wouldn't have felt as confident as I do now. And there's a reason for this confidence. It's because I've been trying something that has really, really helped me. So for those that don't know, my name's Paris, and I am a former primary school special needs teacher. And I have 2 children, both with special needs. My son has ADHD, autism, and he's recently been diagnosed with Tourette's. My daughter recently got diagnosed with ADHD, and she's just turned 13. So we've got ADHD and you've got hormones, and put the 2 together, and she's been struggling a bit. And I myself am going through my diagnosis. So, but when there's people sitting there thinking, are these guys qualified to be even talking about this topic? Like, yes. We are, but we know the struggles, we know what you have probably going through, what you've been through, and we understand that, you know, for some of you, you know, your children might have been diagnosed later on. I don't know if I call myself lucky that Aaron got diagnosed when he was 4, but I kind of clocked onto the changes when he was around 2, and it was around the same time that I separated from my ex. I was a single mom with 2 children. One, I was aware of special needs, the other I wasn't. And, you know, coming through that, and it's been a journey, but I just feel so blessed right now. So if we just go on to the next slide, I can just confirm. So basically, yeah, he has an education healthcare plan. He goes to a special school, and he's seen speech therapists. He wasn't talking up until the age of 6. And that's where kind of my journey began, looking at holistic alternative therapies for him, because I could no longer teach. I was looking at how to help him, and I came across Reiki. That was first holistic therapy that I came across, and I feel that really helped him, and that opened a door to crystals, to so many different things that now, from being a teacher, I'm an intuitive healer and Reiki therapist and essential oils advocate. Essential oils was one of the last tools that I am using in my little toolbox. And Ariana has ADHD, like I said, and she also is going through OCD and seeing CAMS at the moment for that. So yeah, that's sort of our situation right now. Over to Sarah.
Yes, hi again, I'm Sarah. This is my family there, my husband, and I have a 6.5-year-old son, David. And I've been wanting to actually do something like this online class for quite long, but I was very hesitant to do that because I always felt that I don't really qualify to do it because we don't have any official diagnosis yet. But I thought it's just, I have to talk about this. I have to talk about like just what we've been through and what has helped us. Because already my pregnancy was very, very difficult because my son, he wasn't growing from the very start. So we weren't sure if he would survive at all, if he would be born alive or not. And I remember like sitting at these like specialist doctors, and all the other parents were just chatting like, oh, I wonder if we get like a really good photo of the embryo today, and if you will like look in the camera sort of. And I was like, well, I wonder if I find out if my son will be able to live. And I felt very lonely already back then. And not really being able to share like the typical joy that other people had in the pregnancy. And then luckily, I mean, of course, as you can see, he lived and he was okay, and he was born, obviously, and he was okay. He just needed to take some surgeries in the beginning, but it was relatively okay. And then the next thing started, where he just wasn't the typical happy baby that other people seem to have. They were like, oh yeah, can be so exhausting, but it's also so rewarding, isn't it? And I was like, when is that reward part coming in? Like, I'm ready, bring the reward part. And it wasn't really coming in the way I was hoping to. And I always heard like, oh, but it's so nice when your baby just wakes up and just smiles at you. And I've never had this. I never had this. And up until these days, my son usually wakes up very grumpy, and I never have this like smiley child who's just happy about whatever. And then the older he got, the more we noticed that he had like just behavior issues. He was very, very violent towards us, towards other people, towards himself. Like tantrums that just lasted for an hour, definitely, but like a full-on tantrum, and just like lots of things that just like summed up. And it was just, I felt so alone and so exhausted as well, from all of this. And then when he was 5, I put this here, we went to see like a special needs coordinator and a psychologist, where we just started to do some assessments where we didn't get a diagnosis, but we just like we got some advice. We got some, or even just hearing that, yes, I can see that you're having challenges. And even just hearing that and knowing that, okay, it's not, I don't just feel this, it's like true, people can see that as well. Felt actually quite reassuring. And we're still working on this, but also like, I mean, I came upon the oils actually already 4 years ago. But I only really started using the oils on my son, I would say about a year ago, where I was like, okay, I feel I really have to change something. Like I cannot keep living like this in my family. My marriage was not great. We were just fighting all of the time. It put so much tension on us as a family. And that's when I really started to just use the oils more and more. And yeah, that's why I'm like, I feel I have to share this. I just have to share with you like what has been helping us. We're still having some issues, of course, but just like some things that help us to just stay sane and to still be as a family together. And that really is helping my son a lot so that he's able to control or to just regulate his emotions in a better way. So yeah, that's my story.
Sarah, I completely resonate with you when it comes to family, because that's where I felt really lonely. My ex-partner didn't, when you have one of the partners that don't really acknowledge the special need, they want that child to be normal. And it's like, no, he needs to be normal. He's normal. I think you're being a bit too, and that makes you, because you're trying to do the best. And then, we stopped going shopping. We stopped going to parties, Aaron didn't get invited to places, and a lot of the time you just think, you know what, it's fine, it's just too exhausting, let's just be at home. So I completely get that. So okay, so moving on, what are we going to be covering today? We've got loads. So we're going to be doing this really, really quickly. Do you know what? There was so much more I wanted to cover, but I just feel like there's one thing that shifted, you know, what we were experiencing at home, and that's the one thing I want to share at the end. So we're going to be going through, at the moment my screen is being funny, so I can see pixels and things. I've got my phone here, so if I look down, it's because of my phone. It might not be anyone else's, it just might be my internet, but I don't know if anyone else is having that.
I don't know, it might be my internet.
Julia, can you see? No,
it's pixelated. You've got bits of last slides.
Okay. So yes, the last slide is stuck.
Can you share your screen then? Can you open it on your computer and can you share it? Because I think it's my Cyprus internet. We have beautiful weather, lots of sun. It's amazing, but Wi-Fi is not our strongest point in Cyprus.
Okay, let me see how to do this. I've not done this.
Oh, you can do it. Hang on, because when I stop my share, you can do it.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. You're already, yeah, cool. That looks good. Hang on, it's loading.
All right. Oh, okay, let's go. Carrie's raising a hand. One sec. Can
cool,
you see
it? I can see it.
Okay, let's go. Slideshow. The internet is, I'm in the country as well, so the internet is not amazing. But just bear with us. It's still loading. Okay.
Yeah, I can see that now, Paris.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Right, so these are the things that we're going to be covering today. Challenges that you're facing, which is when you registered, a lot of people, we asked, you know, what things are you facing? What things would you like to cover? So we're going to go through that. We're going to go through the common treatments and resources that are out there already. And the gap in the market is something that I felt wasn't there. And I'm going to show you, because I was looking for things that, you know, that are sensory, but with aroma. And I couldn't find that. We're going to talk about the 3 ways to use essential oils: quality, purity, and safety, because that kept coming up a lot, especially with our children. You know, purity and quality is so important. Co-impact sourcing. So why we use the brand that we use, and you know, where is it from? Why, you know, why we've chosen that, and that's because of where and how it's sourced. How essential oils give us choices. How to use them creatively, and I think that's that was interesting as well. How can you use the oils in a creative way with children with special needs? The Symphony of the Cells sensory protocol. Now, this is the one that kind of changed things for me, and I'm going to go really deep into this specific protocol. There's so many, but this is the one that we're going to talk about. And how can you get started with oils as well? So that's going to be, we're going to end it with how can you get these oils into your home? So it's very transparent, you know, we're not hiding anything. We're just going to go through all these slides with you. If you have any questions, we can answer them at the end, or, you know, you've got our numbers. So yeah, so that's what we're going to cover. Quickly, actually, I forgot I'm the one with this. I'm waiting for Sarah. Okay, so I'm just going to move this around because I can't see. What are the main challenges you would like to support your child with? Am I doing this one, or are you?
I know I can do it. So yeah, so like when you signed up for the online class, like we ask you like if you have the time, because we never have time, to like say what you would like to learn or what you're struggling with. And it was quite like the same things came up multiple times, which is also what I've been struggling with my son. So in general, communication, meltdowns was a huge thing that often came up, like tantrums, meltdowns, how to make them appear less. Sleep was a big topic as well. How can I help my child to fall asleep and stay asleep? In general, everything around focus. How can I help my child to actually be able to concentrate and to focus? Transitions, either through the daily life that we all have, or also like, what can I do if my child is supposed to start school soon? How can I help with the transition to this life? And hyperactivity, which I can also really relate to. There was one lady who commented that she has a child who just gets up at 6 a.m. and stays active until it falls asleep in the night. And it sounds lovely when you say it, but I know how exhausting this can be, because I have the same with my son. So these are the topics, the main challenges that came up, and that we also will cover as much as we can in this online class.
The interesting thing is, Sarah, is also the fact that all of this stuff is also for parents as well, because the amount of times like I've had a meltdown, or I've had to lock myself in the toilet or in the garden just to have a breather, because it gets so emotional. And this was before I realized, I'm ADHD as well. So the oils help with all of this for parents and for your children, because you can't forget yourself as well. So yeah, that's really important. So we'll cover all of this.
Very true. Very true.
Now, these were the common treatments that were already available out there, and I think some of you may have gone through behavioral therapy. Like for Aaron's Tourette's, it was so bad that he hits himself, he punches himself right on the nose there, and he's got a little raised bit here, and it's verbal and motor tics, so he hits himself. And the teachers, we went to the consultant, and the teachers couldn't really help much. They were asking me what as a consultant said, and that's where I realized there's not much out there. They went to a behavior therapist, and I realized that there's not, they weren't really doing much. So there's speech therapy, there's all these different types of therapy out there. There's resources out there as well. So weighted blankets seem to help with Aaron, or putting pressure on his shoulders. So that little weighted scarf was quite helpful. But another thing, and I think a lot of you might be aware of this, is dragon breathing with children. Has anyone tried dragon breathing? Basically, it's the idea of a dragon having a fire in its belly. So you've got to imagine there's fire in your belly, and that fire is anger. So this fire is building in your belly, and you have to take a deep breath in through your nose. So you take 3 deep breaths in, and you hold, and then when you breathe out, it's like an ujjayi yoga breath. So it comes from the back of the throat, and it's like, and in yoga, what they say is, the longer you can take that breath, the more you can reach that homeostasis, that calmness. So it's trying to really just breathe in, and you do that a few times. And the great thing is you can add an oil to breathe in and breathe out, and that's called dragon breathing. So that's something that Aaron has learned and he tries. But yeah, there's other things like having sound in your room, where I'm sitting right now. I mean, I can just show you, we've got a little corner here with lots of instruments and things, and Aaron will come and he will just play, the tongue drum, and, just to have a little space where they feel safe. I mean, that's something that I've done, and it's definitely something that you can try. Aaron loves my Medi mat. It's so painful, like, to stand on, but I don't know why, but he likes that tactile feeling on the bottom of his feet, and he'll just lie there. So there's all these little things. With Ariana, I really want to try the resistance band on the chair, because that stops the fidgeting. So you can just kick I think I need it for myself as well, to be fair, because I can't sit still. I'm always fidgeting and I always have to move. But it's little things like that. So that's what is out there already, that, you know, you could be using, or if you're not, it's an idea. So moving on. Now, this is where I saw the gap when I talk about the gap in the market. On the right is a website, a special needs website. And if you look down, there's visual, there's auditory, there's tactile, there's proprioception, vestibular, developmental. So there's a lot of physical, you know, sound, visual, but I couldn't find smell. I couldn't find smell anywhere. And on the left, this is a UK one. Again, when I went into the sensory room, there was all these lights flashing and bubbles and things like that, you know. But again, there was nothing for smell. And our sense of smell is the first thing that develops, you know, the limbic brain is the first thing that develops in the womb. And it's so instant, you know, it's such an instant scent, which we'll talk about later. The only things that I could find was the two things in the middle. So the top one is an advert that's going around on Instagram of little tiny stickers that you can put on, and they're like essential oil stickers, and it's like ridiculous price for just some stickers. And then there's that essential oil putty that I found. Again, that's £14 for like a tub of putty. And other things was on Etsy where people actually made sensory Play-Doh, but that's like a mum that's made it and is selling it. That's it. So it just shows that the reason why when you go to therapists that maybe they're not aware. And what I would love is to connect with other therapists and to say, try this if you're struggling. So not just parents. So yeah, like, let's move on to the next slide.
So yeah, so the nice thing about essential oils is that they actually give us choices in how we can address certain things in ourselves and in and with our children. So they could give us a choice or a chance to avoid medication if we want to, if we feel this is the best approach for us and for our child, and to just have more natural, holistic remedies that we can use. And also the choice that we have something we can use right away, where we don't have to wait for weeks or months or however long it may take to get the right therapy for, again, ourselves, maybe even, and especially for our children. To just try something alternative, natural, where you can just very, very easily, even if you just diffuse essential oils, super easy, and right away you can feel a difference. So at home in different ways, but also something you can use that actually makes it more pleasant, and that you're able to just go out with your child and your children, and you just feel better equipped to take them to shopping trips or to parties or to wherever, where you can just take the oils like in a roller bottle, for example, with you, and you just have something to very, very quickly apply. And the oils will very quickly help in certain situations.
Thank you. Yeah, I think the shopping trips was my biggest anxiety. I actually had to have a behavioral therapist come over just to help me take Aaron shopping, because the amount of times I've just dragged him just left all my shopping and just dragged him out. And yeah, I kind of started doing shopping without him. But yeah, it's definitely something that we can take with us.
Yeah, totally. By the way, I've had the same where I took David with me to just visit friends. And I could feel that he was getting overstimulated, but you can't always just change it. And at that point, I didn't have the oils yet. And I could feel like, oh no, oh no, oh no. And then it was time to go. And I was saying to my friend, I will not be able to get him in the car. Like physically, I will not be strong enough to get him in the car, because I can see that he will fight against me. And I felt so embarrassed by this. Like who can't get their child in the car, right? So now I'm so glad that now I mean, first of all, I just noticed these things a bit earlier, I think, but also that I have some things I can use also just on myself to be like, okay, it's okay. I'm staying calm. I just stay a bit longer. Do you have some food? But also to have something that I can use on him and that I just use regularly anyway. But yeah, I've been there too, where I was like, oh gosh, and that's also it. I didn't go out that much anymore because I just felt, even just physically, that I can't like handle him. It was dangerous for him as well, where he was running away from me and all of these things. Anyway, moving on. Luckily, we have essential oils, and luckily I came upon them, and I've been using them now for the last 4 years, and especially the last year, like really, really a lot. And because in general, there are 3 really cool things about essential oils. They are natural, they are effective, and they are safe. So natural means that essential oils, they are obviously made from plants, right? They can be made from different parts of a plant, the leaf, the flower, the stem, the resin. And there's nothing added to it and nothing taken away from it. It's just the pure plant material and then the essential oil from that plant material. So it's super, super completely natural. It's also super effective, because no matter in which way you use essential oils, and we will come to this, the different ways and how you can use them also on your kids, is that they actually get into your and your child's bloodstream really quickly. And the cool thing is that then they can even penetrate cells. So when we have like a cell in our body, the cell has like an oily cell membrane around it. And with like traditional, like normal medicine, the issue is that like normal medicine is actually water-based. And as we all know, water and oil just doesn't mix. They just don't mix. But of course, essential oils are oils. So essential oils can actually penetrate this like oily cell membrane and can get even inside the cells in our body. And they can do so many amazing things in there. So they are super effective. Sometimes they are like, often they are actually more effective than traditional medicine for this very reason. And they are also very safe. We will have one slide a bit later on where we will show you different ways that you might want to be even safer when using them on kids. But in general, they're very, very safe to use on yourself and on children as well. So plus they're very affordable as well, which is the last point actually. It's like a 4 cool thing, because you often just need one single drop for whatever issue you're having. So they're super affordable as well to use.
On the right, you can actually see a little, it says aromatherapy delivery pathway. So it just shows you the different ways that you can, your body takes in essential oils and how it ends up in our bloodstream, and the different organs. So, you know, through vapor, through liquid, through topical use. So this is what we're going to show you in the next slide here. So these are the 3 different ways that you can use essential oils that Sarah, you're going to explain? Yeah.
So 3 different ways. So the first way, super easy, is basically just to breathe them in, so aromatically. So just breathe the oil in. So either from your hand, so either from your own hand, you can put some on your kids' hands and just make them, rub them together and just breathe them in. Or if you have a diffuser, let me quickly show you mine without breaking it. There we go. A diffuser, then that's also a super, super cool and easy way to just put oils in there and to diffuse the oils and to just breathe them in. The second way is topically, meaning on the skin. Some oils you might want to dilute with a carrier oil, and some are fine to put neat on the skin, and we will explain to you which ones you can use in which way. And the third way, and this is often surprising to some people, is yes, internal use. So yes, you can use essential oils internally as an adult, some also with kids, depending on which oil and the age of the child. But when we say this, also later on, when we give you some examples of like what we are doing, this will only go for doTERRA oils, which is the brand that we use, because only with these oils, we know that they are safe to use internally. So when we tell you, okay, use like a drop of this, please like only use this for doTERRA oils and don't just apply this to other oils. Just a safety disclaimer here.
Yeah, thank you.
And is that mine part? Yeah. And the reason for this, is because that with doTERRA, we know that the oils are tested like crazy, basically. So they have like, it's called CPTG standard. So certified, pure, tested, great. So they go through so many third-party tests that make sure that there is no adulteration, there is nothing weird chemically happening, there is no mold, like that they're just like the pure plant material. Because the sad fact is that the essential oil industry is actually not super great, to be honest. There's a lot of bad things happening in the industry where other oils get mixed to one oil to make it cheaper, where a carrier oil gets added. But also the thing is, because as I said, it's like pure plant material that's being used. Even if something gets sprayed on the plant, you will have that, like the pesticides or like different things, you have this in the end in your oil. And of course, we don't want this. We don't want pesticides or anything weird on our skin or in our blood or anywhere near us. And this actually does happen quite a bit in the industry. It's quite shocking. And the doTERRA oils, again, they get tested a lot. And the cool thing is that on the bottom of every bottle, I don't know if you can see this, but there's also a picture. So on the bottom of every bottle, there's like a code. And then there's a website you can go to. It's called source2you.com, and you can put in the code, and then you can see the test results for this specific bottle. So you can see when this specific bottle was filled up, was tested, when all the tests were done, and then you can see all the chemical test results for this one specific bottle, which is very, very unique. There's no other company who does that. And this way, you know exactly that the bottle, the oil, every drop that you have is safe to use in, depending again which oil, but in general in the 3 ways.
I always got confused because I always try to understand the difference between therapeutic grade and tested grade. And the way I understand it now is therapeutic grade oils can be adulterated, and you can probably use them for massage and things. So when I look at doTERRA oils, for me, they're medicinal grade. That's how I see it in my head, because I'm using them not to replace, but like for that purpose, for medicinally. So that's why you've got to really understand that part of it. So yes, there's stuff that you can put in your food, but medicinal grade, that tested grade, it's like this bit blew me away, because I just thought, wow, that I'm sold. Chemical.
Yeah, and by the way, the thing is also because the whole industry is not regulated as well.
Right.
So even if a company puts on the bottle like 100% pure essential oil, and it's not true, nothing will happen to that company, which I think it's insane. Like what? Yeah. Like how can that be? Right? So they can put whatever they want on the bottle, and very often it's not true.
I think you need to have 5% pure oil in an essential oil bottle for it to be called pure. I think legally it has to be 5%, which is, yeah.
Oh, insane.
It's mad. Now this is what got my heart with it when it came to these medicinal oils. For me, it was where the oils come from. Now, what doTERRA could have done is, which I was with another company before, and I loved organically farmed vitamin supplements. Like that's what my kids have always had, and I would pay that extra just so they could get that organically farmed supplements. But you know what they could have done? They could have just bought acres of land, grown all the plants on the acres of land, and that would have made it so much cheaper for them, and they would have got all their different plants. But what doTERRA decided to do is they decided to find where those plants grow naturally, the climate, the soil, the altitude. So for example, tea tree, I could grow it in my grandma's garden, but the difference is the tea tree that grows in my grandma's garden to the tea tree that grows in the marshes in Australia. Essential oils are the immune system of the plant, which means they're protecting that plant. So if you're going for war somewhere, for example, it's an analogy, you'd get armored up, like if you're going to like Siberia, as opposed to if you're playing with your kids in the back garden. That's an equivalent thing. The tea tree that's growing in the marshes has got insects, have got, really dangerous things that they have to protect themselves from. So the oil is more potent compared to the one growing in my grandma's garden. And on top of that, the sourcing and side of it, they team up with local farmers and distillers and harvesters, and they find, poor people that have been growing, say, lemons for generations, and they help them to, that's what they call co-impact source. So they source it from them, help their community, and through the Healing Hands Foundation, they've created jobs. They've helped sex trafficking and initiatives, built hospitals. And so when I buy that one bottle, I know what's gone into it, and I know, not just the purity, but the ethics behind it. And that's important to me these days, like where something is sourced, the karma behind that. So yeah, these are all the countries that, the different oils come from. So you've got frankincense from, say, Yemen, you've got lemons from Sicily and Brazil, you've got lavender from France. You can smell the difference. And especially it works. Let's move on. So how to use the oils creatively. Sarah?
So there are a lot of different ways. So we talk about the 3 general different ways on how you can use them, right? So aromatically, topically, and internally. But of course, within these 3 ways, there are lots of creative ways, especially with children, on how you can use the oils. So for example, you can make sensory Play-Doh, which is really cool. I have that. I made some. We can also share a recipe with you if you like on how you can do that, where you can just with flour and some other ingredients make your own Play-Doh, and then you can add the oils to it. And my son loves that. Sensory painting, for example, or bubbles. Bubbles is a cool one as well that my son really loves. Sensory massage, which we will come to in just about a minute. You can create a mist, a pillow mist, or what I actually have with my son. I can't get it because he's asleep already. But we have a monster spray. So we have like a spray bottle filled with mostly water, and then we added some essential oils to it. We added a blend called Adaptive. And then we put like a label on it called Monster Spray, and he uses that to fight off the monsters that he has in his own room, in his bedroom. So he sprays that before he goes to sleep. He sprays this like on his bed and under his bed and in the cupboards, and the monsters who will not come. And of course, the oil blend that we use is actually also good for sleep. So that's very handy. Yeah. And he loves it. Like the other day, I told him in the morning, can you please go downstairs and get yourself something to play, because I just want to sleep a bit longer. And he took his monster spray with them, and he went like a bit of a pistol, went downstairs to just fight off the monsters. You can of course also use them for different food recipes. So there are like nice chocolates you can make with essential oils. There's a nice popcorn recipe as well that I can share with you if you like later on. It's like my signature dish, basically, the popcorn. You can include the oils into the bath time, to the bathtub, or even in the shower. You can use them. You can create you can use little lava stones and put oils on there, and they actually smell for a really long time. Or put them on your children's like teddy bears or things like that, so that they have the comfort and the smell also in their bed. Lots of ways.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think the more people join, the more creative it gets, especially I mean, with Aaron, it's always bath time, lavender in his bath. As soon as today I felt he was a bit edgy. And I was like, as soon as he came through the door, it was like, okay, let's put some cedarwood and lavender in his diffuser right now. Just let him just sit there. So that was one of them. Okay, now this is what I'm excited about is I mean, everyone's used essential oils in some way or form. And, you know, when I started using the oils 2 years ago, and it was different, you know, I was trying little things here and there, you know, trying this and that. A couple of months ago, I decided, I think Julian here was there as well. We went to the Symphony of the Cells training. It's like £200 training. And you know what, if it happened all over again, I would go. And it was done by this chap here called Boyd Truman. And what an amazing soul, because I feel like he really changed my life, because I've never seen anything like this. He has been, well, an aromatherapist, massage therapist for the last 30 years, using essential oils for therapeutic purposes, but on body systems. So he's created this. So this isn't doTERRA, like he was doing this before doTERRA, but he was able to figure out a way of layering oil. So there's 19 different applications. The sensory application is just one of those 19. On the back, on the feet, inhalation. So that's to the limbic brain, to your brain, which is like 2 seconds, yours in your limbic brain. On your body, it takes 2 minutes to go into your bloodstream, and 20 minutes every single cell of your body. There's a story that he told, which I just thought, wow, I'd already got this book about a year ago, but I never looked at it. I didn't really know how to use it, and I did it now and again. But he told us this story of a girl in Taiwan who is 15 years old, and she had scoliosis, which is when your spine is bent. And he said in Taiwan, they didn't have many of the oils. So each protocol has about 10 oils that you use. And he kind of didn't have some, and he substituted some, which, you know, there is substitutions as well. So he did this training. At the end of the training, this girl came with her mum, and she has scoliosis. She was 15 years old, of the spine, and he gave her some oils, and he said, use these, and in 7 weeks time I will come back and see how you get on. And because she was 15, she was able to take them internally as well. 7 weeks later, these were his words, he said 85% of her spine was straight, and that's structural just with oils. So I was like, crap, like what? And he came up with, and he said, you know what, there is research, but his was case study after case study after case study. And yes, all the stuff that we've shown you, you know, I've gone on blogs, I've seen mums share oil blends and things like that, and that's amazing. There's so many different types of blends and diffuser blends that's out there, and I've seen blogs. But this man shared this sensory application, which has been used by thousands of people. He has hundreds of thousands of people that he's been helping. So that is where my reassurance came from, is that this protocol is being used by thousands, and it's been working for thousands. I can try a rollerball here and there and do different things. So a few weeks back, I started using this with Aaron. And I have a video which we will share, probably not on here, but you know, after I can send this video of how I apply the oils. And we turned it into a Sunday thing that we do, you know, like we massage each other with oils. We have back rubs. So Ariana does one on me, I do Ariana, and then I do Aaron, and then like my partner, we all have different protocols, like maybe cardiovascular and sensory and neurological. But I wanted to share this one because this one was specifically for autism and ADHD and sensory processing disorders and Tourette's. You know, these were the specific oils that that he showed how to use, and in this kind of sequence. I'll just show you, going on to the next slide. So this is how I kind of place my oils. I take off all the lids, and it's a step 1 to 10. So you kind of follow those steps, and they're a symbol. So the symbol of the face with the man just means that you apply that on the back of your shoulders, and that's just to calm the person down straight away. And it's usually frankincense, or with the sensory protocol, it's the grounding blend, which we're going to go through each of these specific oils, and so you can see, like, one oil doesn't mean it helps with one thing. There's several different things that it can actually help with. So you follow that, and then say, for example, it says frankincense, you apply it on the shoulders, and the nose means that you get them to inhale it so it goes into the limbic brain, and the bottom of the feet. Why the bottom of the feet? Because of the reflexology point. So if you're focusing on the brain, it's the big toe, and you could just apply the excess oil on the bottom of the feet, not the drops. And for children, you're literally using 1 to 2 drops. So that's it. There's 1 to 2 drops once a week. And if somebody has got a specific issue that they're trying to deal with, then you would do that twice. Now, when the evidence I have for this, that what kind of blew me away, was when Aaron had tonsillitis. It wasn't a sensory one, it was an infectious disease protocol that I did on him. But before that, he got tonsillitis. He suffered for 3 weeks, and I gave him antibiotics. The antibiotics helped. The tonsillitis went away. 2 weeks later, it came back. I didn't want to give him antibiotics. So I remember putting it on our little WhatsApp group saying, what do I do? And one of the ladies said, have you tried the Symphony of the Cells protocol? Try it. So we did it in the morning, and he couldn't swallow. It was hurting him to have his breakfast. We did it in the morning, early morning, by 11 o'clock. He had breakfast. He says, Mummy, I can swallow. And I just thought, I haven't even given you anything internally. So I was like, okay, again, let's do this again. So we did it again. And a few days, he was fine. Again, it wowed me. So this is the protocol that we're going to be showing you, and we're going to be talking through the oils in very, very briefly. We're not going to go through them in detail, but we just want to give you a snapshot of how the oils that we've chosen and why we've chosen them, and the benefits of them. You can use them individually or in synergy together, because it's a layering effect. That the way it works is it works from the vagus nerve, so the bottom of the skull to the bottom of your tailbone, and you apply that oil along that spine, so it can go into the nerves and into every single cell of the body, into different organs. That's the thinking behind it. That's how it works on the body. So the blue, it just means the whole back. Okay, moving on.
I also love that, by the way. I also do it every Sunday. It's also our Symphony of the Cells day every Sunday. Very similar, where I get one and I do it on David, and it's also, by the way, it's very quick. So in the beginning, I was thinking, okay, my David, he will not lay still for me to do a complete application. I was thinking, no chance will he just keep still. But it's actually very quick. It doesn't have to last long. So of course, if you want to, it's nice to connect with your child and to really enjoy it. And I also enjoy it, but it doesn't have to take long, which for me has been really helpful. So it can be applied relatively quickly.
Yeah, it's literally 5 to 7 minutes, and that's it. 5 minutes on each person. And Aaron loves it, and what I love, especially with children who are quite sensory, is that connection and that bond. We really look forward to Sundays now, because it's it's back rub day, and just to prevent any nasties happening, and just to clear. One thing I will say, I've only been using it for a few weeks, but I've noticed the symptoms of his Tourette's. I was just speaking to my partner yesterday, and I was like, have you noticed Aaron bang his and he hasn't done it. He hasn't done it for a while. So it's always good. What I always advise is to journal and observe everything, because it's such a sensory thing. You don't even notice certain things when they stop behaving in a certain way. So I wrote that down. I was different. It's got that. Anyway, the first oil is Balance. So this is the oil that you would place on the shoulder. It's a blend, so it's a grounding blend with all these different oils. You can put this again in your diffuser, and I think the picture on the right speaks for itself, a thousand words. Dr. Hill, who's one of the founders of doTERRA, and he's a doctor as well, he basically did a experiment, and in that experiment he gave someone a drop. So literally on the right you can see someone was given a drop of doTERRA balance oil on the bottom of their feet, and within 30 minutes the blood that was coagulated just separated like that. So this is how oils, pure tested grade oils, can work on your body. 30 minutes. Now this also means if you're not using something that's pure and you're using chemicals in your house, and you know your children are touching stuff or you're touching stuff, this is what's happening in your body. Your toxic load is increasing. But balance is a very grounding oil. If your children, I mean, especially with ADHD, if you're feeling really overwhelmed, it just brings you down. You can put it in the diffuser, you can put it in the bath, on the pillow. It's just really just, you know, Aaron has a habit of putting, we've got it in a roller ball and he puts it on the bottom of his feet every morning. That's a morning thing that he does. But that picture just says a lot. Oops, how do I go back?
Then in general, a really, really great carrier oil for you to get and for you to use is the fractionated coconut oil, meaning it will always stay liquid. I mean, here it's very warm in Cyprus, but in the UK you might need it liquid. So I always use this one for whenever I need to dilute any oil, because with hot oils or with kids in general, you usually want to dilute an oil before putting it on the skin. And I always use the coconut oil for this, because the nice thing with this one is that it doesn't have its own smell. And it's very, very easy on the skin. So you really have the full smell of the actual essential oil and the full benefits, and it actually absorbs really quickly as well into the skin. So that's what I in general always use to dilute any essential oil that I want to dilute. And also because I also do the protocol on David, so I also use this one to include in the back massage protocol.
Thank you. Yeah, I think the shelf life of coconut oil is about 5 years. So if you're going to make a rollerball, you know that it's going to last you quite a long time. And yeah, in the protocol also they tell you to use coconut all over the back. So after you use frankincense or balance, it's usually all over the back. You know, you allow, it's like a reservoir for the essential oil, because essential oils are volatile organic compounds, which basically means that they just fly away. You want to keep them in there longer, and they just slowly disperse into the body that way. So it's always, you know, good. And this is one you can take. I do oil pulling with this coconut oil. I love it with a bit of any other oil.
It's also great as a makeup removal, by the way.
Yes. All right, so we have petitgrain oil here, and this when I was doing my research on this, it's really interesting. It helps you like this. So I've got the description on the right. I have got from this book here called Oil Smart, which is written by Boyd Truman. So it's his book, and this is what he recommends. So you can add it to the pillow. So it's a bit like lavender. Petitgrain they call the male version of lavender. So it's lavender for men. But it uplifts the mood. It's antibacterial, antiseptic, cardiovascular, lymphatic, helps with skin blemishes, eases tension and calms the nervous system. So now you understand why it's in the sensory protocol, because of the nerves and the sleep at night. So it's one that you could blend with lavender or another oil, and you can put it in the diffuser. And this oil, I found out that it's actually sourced from Paraguay, so that's where it actually comes from. So that would be the oil that you would put after you've massage the whole back with coconut oil. And then we're moving on to cilantro, which is one of my favorite oils to take internally.
I also love it, cilantro. So cilantro is actually a really, really great detox oil. So you might know this from like a metal detox. So I mean, we all have some kind of like metals inside of us due to environment, and cilantro is super powerful in helping our body to get rid of like anything that's inside of us that's not supposed to be there, like for us and especially for our children, of course, because I feel like in general, like metal or toxins, they play a huge factor in behavior, in any issues, really. So cilantro is really helpful to just flush everything out. It's also very helpful for allergies. But I've been using this a lot recently because here it's already very warm in Cyprus and it's crazy green. And I actually usually have very bad hay fever. And I switched to using cilantro a lot, and I've been great. So just as a side note, so really great also for all of these issues, digestive issues as well. It's antibacterial. It really helps the liver and the kidneys to detox. So yeah, it's a really great oil to use like individually and again in this like whole protocol after petitgrain.
There's so many recipes with cilantro. I mean, I always put it in my curry, like a drop in my dal, and or guacamole. Like you just need one drop. It's so, and because it's so potent. I think I worked out it to be about 3 kg of cilantro leaves is 1 bottle of that oil. So that's, imagine, you know, but you need a drop. That's all you need. But yeah, metal detox in the gut, and we haven't even covered the gut and brain connection. That's another that's going to be another workshop, because that's so important, especially when it comes to our children, the gut and, you know, the detox and how it helps with parasites. Okay, now this is, I love this picture, and the reason I put it here is just to show you the power of doTERRA themselves and the way they work with people. Turmeric, as we know it as an anti-inflammatory, is amazing, and I think this is the reason that it's in the sensory protocol, because inflammation is a very key factor for ADHD and autism. If you look at the research and the published articles, there's a lot about inflammation and reducing inflammation. That's why Omega is amazing, and this is where it's sourced. I mean, when you buy a bottle of turmeric, you're empowering people in India and Nepal. You're improving like 7,000 lives that one bottle helps with. But it works also with the neural toxicity, the endocrine system. It's anti-rheumatics if you've got, you know, arthritis and pain, you know, that it helps with that. Adrenal fatigue, which is something that children that have got ADHD or adults that have got ADHD get a lot. Ariana comes home exhausted, her brain's just constantly working, and again with digestive support. So many things. And again, you know, you can make your chai latte with this turmeric milk. You can put it in your food, like whatever it is that you're cooking. You can diffuse it, and it's very different to the actual turmeric powder. So yeah, I mean, the list is endless, but that's another oil that you would apply all the way along the back and allow it to just go into those neural pathways. Oh, we have
my favorite oil, because this is the oil that has helped David the most, because he loves the smell. That's obviously very helpful, but this is the oil I use whenever I like want to help him to calm down, which is quite often, to be honest, because he can be so hyper and he can get so overstimulated by lots of things. And lavender is like it's like my helper in so often, like every day. I would say every day. So I always have lavender with me, either the whole bottle, or I also have it in a roller bottle. But I always have at least one of these 3 things with me, definitely, because this has helped me so much in calming him down. When I noticed that, oh my God, okay, he's he's getting in this like energy where I will not be able to maybe get him in the car later on, or he might have like this really, really big meltdown. I mean, when he's already so far into it, like, okay, he meltdown incoming in like 3, 2, 1, then I cannot apply an oil anymore because he wouldn't let me in that situation. But luckily, I can always turn on the diffuser. So when we're home and I notice it too late, or we're coming home and then he just explodes from all the experiences, like I always have lavender pre-prepared in the diffuser that I can just, with one tap of the button, just have the diffuser on. And this has been, oh my God, it has been like a lifesaver. Probably literally, because really this has helped us so much, the lavender. And also I have it in his diffuser every single night in his room, every single night. So I already use it in the evening when it's going towards bedtime to help him to calm down so that he falls asleep more easily. And then also I have the diffuser on in his room like the whole night, on interval. So it's on for 10 hours in a row basically, and this has really helped him so much in actually sleeping through the night, which we didn't have before. And oh my God, that's so good. So yeah, you need to get this oil relay. And also, like, you can use it for so many things, like the Swiss Army knife of essential oils. So when David had a wasp sting, and oh my God, it was horrible because of course he completely freaked out. Luckily I had lavender to calm myself down, first of all, and to calm him, but also to put on the sting, because lavender is actually probably the only oil I would say you can put neat on children as well. At least I do that. And it's great for any insect stings, insect bites. It's any wounds really, like burns, like light cuts, you can put it on. It's even good for headaches. So yeah, it's so versatile, and it's so amazing. I can really recommend this so much.
It's definitely one that we put in the bath. This, like you were saying, you get the diffuser on. I figured out that as soon as Aaron comes home and I can just tell that he's had a funny day at school, or the teacher usually message me on Class Dojo saying, yeah, he's had a bit of a wobble day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, get the bath on, get the lavender in, and I need it for myself as well. The picture at the bottom is Aaron when he got impetigo, and this was the first time I realized how amazing lavender was. And he used to keep getting impetigo, and again it was the same story. He got it, and then we gave him antibiotics, it went away, and then it came back again. And this time I was told could just use lavender neat, so I just got some lavender. I literally just put it on his sore lip, and it was disgusting. It was just all crusty and horrible. But 3 days it just went down, and I'm guessing it has certain properties. If you know what impetigo is, it has certain properties that gets rid of something so bad. But that is just shows the support in just one oil. Patchouli here. This is one of, do you know what this is like? People have a love-hate relationship with this oil. You either love it or you hate it, because it's very earthy and very kind of like sort of, yeah, a muddy, earthy scent to it. It's amazing for grounding. But you can understand why. So it's an oil that I put in the diffuser. It's one I diffuse more than anything, and I put in skin serums and things like that. But if you look at on the list, emotional and limbic is the main thing. Hyperactivity, so that's why it's in the sensory protocol. Panic attacks, so that means it's the oil that you can use when your child is having a meltdown, even if it just means you putting it on your hands and just wafting it around them, or just diffusing it, or just having something there on a cloth. Sometimes I just swipe on the back of Aaron's, he doesn't even realize I just swipe, or just drop it on his collar, just anything. Integumentary system is basically hair, skin and nails. So it helps with your hair, skin and nails, fungal infections, nervous system, diuretic and insecticides. So that says a lot about patchouli. And again, if you were using it in a diffuser, this is the oil that you wouldn't put more than 1 drop. You probably last you a few years. Yeah, neuroprotective as well. So it actually protects the cells on the neurological system. If you just, the thing that we need to understand is that we are carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and plants are carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. So when we use an oil, a plant natural oil, our body recognizes that, and it's like, oh, I know this, you know, and it heals itself. But if you're using something that is synthetic or adulterated, that's where you can get side effects, and our body will be like, okay, I don't get this, and then you get other stuff coming off it. So yeah, it works synergistically. So I think I clicked, and it should be clicking away. Here we go.
This is my second favorite. Very, very close, close to lavender, Copaiba. Copaiba was also the first oil I used on David for his like behavior issues, and he also has some cognitive issues, which I haven't even mentioned. So it was like the first one, because I remember like one time I was actually just like asking in our WhatsApp group, like, okay, so like, does anyone know anything, you know, when your child might not develop like the way you think it's normal? And then luckily a lady contacted me and was so supportive. And I remember that we did like a Zoom, and I was just crying. And like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I feel I have like the same toddler conversations with my like 5-year-old, and it's just not, he just doesn't understand, and we go through the same things again and again, and you just like cognitively you just can't comprehend some things. And I was just like, so I don't know, so stressed out, and I didn't know what to do. And she was like, okay, do you have Copaiba? And I was like, yeah, I think I got this sometime. I've never really used it. She's like, okay, you use this. Like you use this on David when you make him a smoothie, because he also wasn't really eating at that time. Like put a drop in the smoothie so that he has like 1 drop per day in the smoothie. And this already helped so much, and very quickly as well. I mean, he wasn't a genius the next day, don't get me wrong. I mean he is in his own way, but like, I don't know, things just got easier. I felt he was just able to just like eventually understand things on another level. So I felt this one like really helped like with his cognitive issues, as well as also with behavior. So he wasn't that stressed anymore. And I also started using it on like every day, and I still do. Like, this is one oil I have every single day, like 1 drop under my tongue to help me stay calm and healthy. Because Copaiba is basically great for so many things, like anxiety, depression, emotional stuff, PTSD, lots of emotional things, but also on like a physical level, it's really good for your cells. So it really also just helps your cells to stay the way they're supposed to stay, and to just really stay healthy. And Copaiba is very similar to CBD oil. But actually, like the main, because CBD, obviously we all know, is like meant to be like super calming, and it has like basically 1 main ingredient. But CBD oil actually only has like 30% of this main ingredient in it, like the one that makes you so calm, while Copaiba has 55%, not ingredient, but like a chemical compound, right? So Copaiba has 55%. So it's even stronger, even more effective than CBD oil, plus has all these other really great cell health benefits. And yeah, I just love it. The smell is very peculiar in a way, but you get used to it. And I actually like it. I actually like the taste. And this has really helped David so much.
Thank you. If you're wondering like how we have it internally, I've got mine here. So I've got a little dropper, and I just
literally the same. Yeah.
Yeah, you just under your tongue. probably needed this right now. And then that's it.
I need to go for one.
And then next slide. Okay, here, this is something I just used today. But Boyd Truman talked about this, and I wrote something down that he mentioned. Lemongrass, it's probably one of the most affordable oils that doTERRA have, but it has the craziest things that it does. And one thing that Boyd mentioned is there is research shown, I think they did with lemongrass, that it actually connected because it's electrical, the electrical impulses of a severed nerve, and it was able to just, a severed nerve in a muscle connect. I used it just today because I felt, when you slowly have this slow stiffness that gets in your back, you're not really doing anything, but you can just feel it just tense up. I could feel that coming on, and I just put a little bit of lemongrass in the back and then just smelt it, and I just felt it really ease. So the beauty of this is that you can just try. It's all trial and error. Lemongrass helps with that. The interesting one is parasites. So there's that gut issue again, the gut metals. And I did a lot of research into looking at parasites connected with autistic children. For some reason, our children seem to have a lot of parasites in their bodies. So it's looking for something to help that. Nerve pain, endocrine support, a ligament challenge detoxifier, candida, muscle legs, liver, kidney. So all the elimination kind of organs, it actually gets rid of stuff, which is a cleansing oil. Neuralgia and vomiting and circulation. So by buying or by using this oil, you're actually empowering people in India to over 2,000 and lives, jobs you're empowering, and lives 49,000 people. So this, wow. But yeah, so lemongrass is one of those oils. And finally, the last oil on our protocol is black pepper.
Black pepper, yeah. So we've guided you through this whole back massage protocol in a way. So this whole oil application, and the last one that you will apply on your child is the black pepper, which is also, they're all amazing, but this is also really amazing for so many different things. It's great for anything with muscle, I can't say that word, but you can read it there. Musculoskeletal support, respiratory support, for any infections. And by the way, just in case this is not clear, right? Whatever we say, even if you just apply the oil on the skin, it does that, right? You do not need to use the oil internally. Same with the Copaiba, what I mentioned. You can, and if your child is old enough, it's great. But even with smaller kids, you have the same benefits by applying it on the skin, right? Just to recap this. So this is also, it's great for anxiety. It's antimicrobial, antiviral, for joints, really good for joints, sinus support as well, digestive support, good for arthritis, and it reduces cravings, which is mostly more for adults, I have to say, but I use it for that. Not on my child, but he also just eats all the time. But yeah, it's something you can use for yourself. It's nice in cacao as well, for example. So not just for the Symphony of the Cells protocol, but of course you can also use it for yourself for other things. But yeah, on your child, really, really great for all these things when you apply it on the back and the feet.
Boyd talked a lot about not just the physical uses of it, but he really tapped into the emotional and the spiritual uses of the oils, which is what I connect with when I do my Reiki practice. It is the spiritual side of the oils, and Aaron is very much like that. And I can see, with black pepper, it's one of protection and grounding as well. So you can really feel that, because children are usually all over the place. They're quite overwhelmed. Now, I wanted to go back and talk about essential oil safety for children, and tips for children with autism and ADHD, because I think this is really important, and it's something that I think when we put this out into the world, people kept saying, are you going to talk about safety? Yes, we're going to talk about safety because it's really, really important. Yes, essential oils, they're natural, they're safe, but with like anything else, you wouldn't tip a whole bottle down your throat, because that can be harmful. So you've got to be really cautious and just sensible in how you use them, because they are pure, they're potent, and they're concentrated. So they're natural, but they sometimes, if you do get undesirable effects. So if you use an essential oil and you're thinking, on your child, and you're thinking, okay, he's coming up with a little bit of rash, maybe I've got on a bit too much, don't put water on there. To dilute, you need to put oil on there. Okay, if you put water, what will happen is that it will intensify that reaction, because essential oils are lipophilic and hydrophobic. They are scared of water. They don't like water. So you've got to not put water on there. So be sure that the ones that you're using are 100% tested grade, not just therapeutic. You can use therapeutic, but beware that therapeutic doesn't mean pure. And actually pure doesn't even mean pure. It means that 5% pure. So check the labels. Never use around the eyes, or don't put oils into the ear canal. That's a no-no. And yep, if you see redness, use fractionated coconut oil. It's diluted, it's safe. If you feel that your child is sensitive to smell, let's be real. If there is a sensory need and they don't like the smell of it, do not give them oils. Maybe that's not for them. It is not a right thing. You might, or you could introduce them very, very slowly. And with our children, the sensory part of it is heightened. So you'd probably need just to start with a drop. I would say when you're using the sensory protocol for normal, for like neurotypical children, you use them maybe 2 drops, but start with 1. Start with just hand them over some bottles one at a time and see if they like it. Let them choose. One thing I noticed with Aaron is that I was really, in the beginning, because I knew I wanted him to use them, I was forcing them, like, Aaron, have you got your rollable? Aaron, are you using it? And it really got him anxious, and I was like, oh gosh, what am I doing? That he was starting to not like the idea of it. And then I just left it. And then one day he had a tummy ache and he was really constipated. We were in Devon. He was really constipated and he was crying. And I had this Tamer oil, which is very similar for digestion. And I said, do you want to try this? And he just put a little bit on his tummy. He did it himself. Within 10 minutes, he was on the loo. And that was it. Something just connected in his brain. And he was like, Mummy, I need my Tamer. And now it's like, he knows which oils he likes. His favorite is thyme. I don't know why he likes thyme, but he loves thyme. But yeah, so always dilute. And if you're using it for yourself and you're pregnant, because I know, this whole thing isn't just for our children, it's for ourselves as well, because we go through crap, consult your doctor if you're pregnant and or you've got a certain illness, or you feel like you need to check, so consult your GP. And the last point, which I think is the most important point, and this is something that Boyd Truman mentioned, is that because, as grown-ups, as adults, we have a really high toxic load. Our body is 70% water. Children's body is, probably more water, but purer water. So a newborn baby, when they're born, they don't have much toxins in them. We do. We've been touching, feeling, we've got crap all over the house. So when we take an essential oil, we might, what some people say when they say, oh, I can't use that oil, I'm allergic to it. It's not the essential oil that you're allergic to. It could be that that oil is, you're going through a cleansing process. So what we do say is, when you do the Symphony of the Cells protocol on your back or your child's back, within the next 24 to 48 hours, they may go through a cleansing or a detox process. And that is like within, it might come out like something like a little bit of nausea, diarrhea. It's your body getting rid of that which it does not need and it does not like. It's foreign. So you might experience that, but just, take note, bear with it, see what happens. But usually within about 12 to 24 hours, it's gone. It might be like a slight rash or something like that, but it's getting rid of that. So just bear in mind, like, you might go through like a detox. I find that adults do. I haven't seen children really, like, my kids haven't had any kind of problems in that way or challenges with that. So I thought I'd just quickly put that in there. And Sarah.
So here you can see all the oils that we've showed you, and they are all part of this like sensory protocol, which I can so recommend. I also do it every single Sunday on David, as I said. So these are all the ones. So how can you get started in general? Like how can you start with the sensory protocol? So these are the oils you would want to get if you want to follow this protocol. And I actually tried to cheat. I was saying to Paris, but can we just leave like 1-2 out? Because I mean, there are so many slides, you know, and just make it shorter. And she was like, no, because of course they all serve a very, very specific purpose. And they all work together. So when you do this protocol, it's important to actually like do them in the right order and to actually use all of them, because then they really work together to address all of these specific issues. So
you can substitute the oil. So if you don't have one and you want another, you can do that. But yeah, I wouldn't, you know, I mean, as you've seen, like all the slides, there's so many things on each one that it actually targets. So it wouldn't make a difference, but we've tried to keep it, you know, as simple as possible. And yeah.
So if you want to get started, there is a link on the next slide. If you want to click one more, I think it's on the next slide, that we created where, and I will also send this out via email probably tomorrow morning because it's quite late here in Cyprus, where you can then click on the link, or even just right now if you want, just type it in, and you can see all the oils that we mentioned. You can see all the prices for every single oil. It's just like all in one place for you to see everything about for the sensory protocol. That link will show the prices in pounds. If you are not in the UK like me, just let us know, and then I can send you the link for wherever you are for your currency, probably euro. Just let me know, and then I can send you the right link with the right prices. But this is where you can then just click on and just have a look at all the specific oils and prices. And of course, you're very welcome to, if you want to also order through that link, of course. So that link is like tied to us, to our team, Paris and my team. And then we can also, of course, send you more resources, which I think we have on the next slide, Paris.
Yeah. So here, I mean, we have, you know, we see, this isn't something that we've just thought, you know what, let's just do this. This actually means something to us. It's not like, yeah, we want you just to buy some oils and then, yeah, off you go. The idea behind this was, for me, was to create a community of you know, special needs parents, caregivers, to actually extend it out to therapists, you know, out there that can help and support our children, because nothing's out there. You know, that's the objective here, is to create a community and to help. And the only way you can do that is to access, you know, so we're all using the same things, and we're sharing. There's already a ready-made community there that we're going to connect you to. But just to start you off, you know, this is something from us, is, you know, a few gifts. I mean, this is just the beginning. There's so much more. We want to give you the wild orange oil, a rollable. There is an essential oils for children ebook that you get, and this is all free. And how to use the top 10 oils, which kind of are recommended by doTERRA. So you get all that there as well. And on top of that,
so also when you purchase through that link or through us in general, if you wanted to like fill up any oils that you run out, or just get additional oils or anything like that, which you never have to do, of course, right? So even if you just buy one oil from us, we are very happy to support you. But of course, if you ever wanted to get more oils, you can get that for 25% off, which is really, really cool. Plus, as Paris also said, we don't just want to like sell you oils and then off you go. We really want to help you, because I remember that, I mean, like as we also said earlier, I actually had a lot of secret crying in the bathroom. Like it still makes me so emotional because I had this way, of course, you want to be so strong for your child and for your partner and for your whole family and all of that. But I had, like, honestly, like at the worst times, I had it every day. Like every day, at least one time per day, I was crying in the bathroom. And of course, we don't want this for you. We want to build this community where we can all support each other. And we really want to make sure that if you get oils to us, that you know how to use them, that you get always new ideas on how to use them. You can always ask us any questions. We do this free 1-hour wellness consultation with you, where again, like we go through, okay, like what issues are you experiencing? Are you crying secretly in the bathroom, or like what issues does your child have, or like how do you want to support other children? Any of this, and then we write down exactly, okay, these are some ideas that you can try on your child. And then you try that, and then we come back together and see, okay, how did it work? And we can give you other ideas. Okay, try this oil in a different way. So lots of things we just want to support you with. Lots of other free resources we want to give you, like other do-it-yourself recipe ideas and all of that.
Yeah, I connect with that a lot, Sarah. And I think for me, doing this, I was really scared because I didn't want everyone to think that this is just a way of just, selling oils. There's an exchange of time, and I'm no longer a primary school teacher. I don't want to go back to primary school teaching, but I do want to help primary school teachers. I do want to help parents, and this is my way of teaching now. This is probably like my degree came into use, but we don't want others to go through what we've gone through. And the first year I was just using these oils, I actually was a huge skeptic. I'd seen all the negative stuff, and do you know what, I had this hope that let me try them for myself and see if I can have something that I can say yes, and I am convinced, then only will I share it with anyone else. And hence it's taken 2 years to get to a point for me to be convinced. And I think I'm talking to that person that is just got their diagnosis for their son or their child and is lost, and doesn't know what to do. And I don't think I ever got the chance to break down when I found out about Aaron, because I was already broken down. And it was this trial, error, where do I go? Your life changes, my life will never be the same. And we think about our child and we just think, what, is Aaron going to be there for life? Like, is that it? He's not moving out of home. But, as a parent, you always want what's best for them, but also for you as well. And if I can show you something that's worked for me, and this is what has. So how you take this is completely up to you. But if you just go away and if you just go away and think to yourself, I've taken one thing, I've learned something. If you feel like we've added any value to you, then that's fine. That's absolutely fine. So we will meet you wherever you are happy. If you just need that connection, if you need someone to talk to, I'm here as well. If you're not going to get anything, you just want to talk, this is us reaching out to a community that we never had. There was no community like this. Again, we will be providing you with this habit tracker, which is from the Symphony itself.
I have it too.
I laminated mine. Have you laminated yours?
Oh no, you're so prepared.
So this habit tracker is a month tracker, and it's great because you just tick, and like at the bottom it shows you add a drop of citrus oil to your water in the morning. Have you done that? You tick. Take your vitamins, tick. Use adaptive oil and lavender on the bottom of your feet, tick. And every Sunday, on the Sunday one, there's a little star, which is your back rub, and you can get to just tick that as well. And I just think that's so nice, and it gives our children that ownership that this is what they're doing for themselves. They can do it for themselves. And on the right, because of request, I know some of you are like, well, what's the routine? What are you doing? You know, what's the daily habits? This on the right is my daily habits that I've now created. Trial and error with Aaron. Like in the morning, I put, before he gets out of bed, we've got a citrus in the diffuser, whether it's lemon, grapefruit, whatever. There's always 2 oils in there, and that allows you to, you know, the citrus oils and the mentholy peppermint oils, they really just wake you up. So instead of having to sort of say, Aaron, wake up, it triggers his brain to, oh, it's morning now. Balance, he wakes up and he puts it on we've got a little roller ball. So you know the Balance, the 15 ml. This is how long your oils can last. You just need 2 drops of that in here and fill the rest up with coconut oil. That's a 10 ml roller. So that will last you a long time. And then he's got one, you've got one, you can just hand them out. So that on the bottom of the feet, he has his omega and vitamins, and you know, I rub some oils on his uniform, just around his uniform. In the afternoon, he actually has the children's kit. We've got a kids kit that he takes to school and he has in his bag. If he's not reminded about them, he won't use them, which is what I found. But if he remembers, then, you know, I've asked the teacher to remind him to use the calming one, or the, you know, for focus, there's a focus one at lunchtime. We'll have it on his desk. And in the evening, like I said, before he comes home, if I've had a message on my class dojo to say Aaron's had a bit of a bad day, then I've got the water running and there's lavender. And as soon as he gets home, he takes his clothes off and he's in there, and it's been a godsend, his baths. And then he has dry skin, so I put oils in body oil. Body oils in his body oil, so usually grounding ones, like, you know, Balance, patchouli is one that I can put in there, or creams. And before he goes to bed, so right now he's got cedarwood and lavender diffusing in his bedroom before he's even in the room, like it's there, and that just sets him. And you can make little pillow sprays like this, that you can just, you know, and it's like an emergency one as well that you can just take with you, put in your bag. That smells quite nice. So that is a really basic, for me, it works for me, and you might find some of this works for you, not all of it is, but it's nice to start somewhere, because I didn't have this. I didn't know what to do. I had things, but I didn't have this, and I do now. So I hope you can take a screenshot, and I hope it helps. And more, there's more.
Okay. We also have online programs that we run around the oils, where we can add you to. One is called the Oil Camp, which is a 12-day online program, completely for free, of course, where you learn again about different oils and how to use them. There are videos for every oil with ideas on how to use them. It's super, super hands-on. I love it. We run this every month. So we could add you to the one in March or April, for example. And we also have, right now we have different like topic educational series. So you can see the image there where we still have like some left. Actually cool ones. We have the supplement ones coming up. And then oils with pets, low toxic living, and preparing for allergy season. And we always do different things around this. And of course, you're invited to also join this. So we have a lot of resources.
This is great, because once you have the oils, it's like, what do I do with them? And I'm not someone that likes to read a lot. Like it's great, like I like to have references, but to just, these are all recorded, so you can get, just like this today's session is recorded, and you can send it, if you found it helpful, you can send it to someone you think could benefit. And here we have which I've done the video, so if you would like for me to send a recorded video of Aaron having his sensory protocol. This is Aaron lying there, ready. He's always ready for his little back rub. I can send you that. I've got a WhatsApp group at the moment just for local mums and dads with children with special needs. So if you feel, you know what, I would love to be added to that. We will be doing other workshops, definitely ones for the supplements, maybe for ideas. I want to do a local one that's more practical, you know, let's make Play-Doh, or let's, you know, just get together and chat and cry. You know, it's just sometimes that's all you need. And if you want to do that online, we can do that online as well. We can grab,
Oh yeah, let's meet online and just cry. That sounds great, Paris.
yeah, because I think
needed sometimes, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, I think once you've got these oils, the thing is we can all try different things and see what works and then share. And that's where the learning comes, is when you're sharing. I know that if I gave my oils to my behavioral therapist or Aaron's teacher at school, I need to get them a diffuser, which I don't know why they haven't got a diffuser in their sensory room, but I'm getting them one. Then they're creative enough to know how to use them, and they're like, well, we know how to use them. If you give it to your occupational therapist, they'll figure out how to use them and be able to, you know, share that with others as well. So that's the idea, is to get that sharing going. So yeah, we can send you that. Oh, there you go. Oh, and there's more.
Well, there are actually two really cool things that doTERRA offers in February. So that doTERRA offers, and one is from the team. That's why we can't influence this. So it's basically only until tomorrow. But it's really, really, really amazing. So if you are thinking, oh, I really want to get some oils like this, like I really want to get something, I want to do the protocol, so it's actually a really good time, because again, we can't control this, but there are actually two really, really cool offers that we have in February, and one is that you get a free vanilla. And oh my God, it's so amazing. When they released that, I was actually in Budapest at the doTERRA convention, and people freaked out when they released that, okay, we will have vanilla essential oil, because it's actually very, very tricky to produce pure vanilla essential oil. I think this is actually the only one on the market that exists, and the smell is just absolutely divine. I've never smelled anything like that, and David loves it. That's the amazing thing. So when he picks things for the diffuser, he loves vanilla, and anything with vanilla mixed together, he just really, really loves it. And I find it's like a mixture of, like, it's very calming and uplifting at the same time. So it's very unique in that regard. It really can help you when you're stressed, but it also then at the same time just really uplifts you, and it smells so good. Like when you have guests coming over, put that in your diffuser and they will really love that.
It's really good for smoothies and stuff as well. I can just imagine me putting it in my milkshake. Oh, and the other one here is our gift for you this February. Like Sarah was saying, again, this is actually from our team. So again, we don't have any control over this, but you know, because we decided to do a special needs, you know, one of the first, I think, I don't think I've ever been to one in the last 2 years, or had you know, sat in front of, you know, a workshop to do with special needs. So they've gifted this adaptive oil, which is the calming blend, and it's in quite a few of the other protocols. There are clinical tests that have been done with adaptive, and there's so many things that you can do. I make these little tiny roller balls like this that I gift to people, because I think this is the oil that's helped so many people just calm, just to put in your purse. So you can use it in the bath. You can mix it with fractionated coconut oil to have a massage. So it's in the protocols. Room diffuser. It's one that's in my bathroom. I have an extra one in my bathroom. Love it. And it's got copaiba in it. It's got magnolia. It's got neroli. Neroli is from the leaves of the bitter orange tree. Rosemary, which is a natural antiseptic, lavender, wild orange, and spearmint. And it's just, you know, I've got it in rollerball. I've got it in like bottle. I think doTERRA gave it for free, so I got a couple. But yeah, Yeah, it's
I
about.
might have a couple. Hang on.
I think a couple. You got to come to the UK. I
Oh.
mean, this oil is about, I think, wholesale price. It's about £37. So that's a lot to give
Oh,
for
the
free.
vanilla, by the way, is also one of the pricier oils. So
Pricey ones.
really, really nice gift. And
I
I got
remember
it.
we're talking like a drop at a time. So when we're talking like oils, we're not like, oh, you've got to use the whole thing. And I think we're so used to using other brands that it's always like you just dip it. I mean, I was in the sauna the other day. I know I'm digressing, but it actually says don't put oils on the instruments, on the heating, on the coal. I'm thinking, why the hell would I want to do that with my doTERRA oils? If you buy a £5 oil, you don't really care, do you? So yeah, that's adapted. So you're going to get that if you do in February. And yeah, if you feel that you're ready and you're like, okay, I want to go for this, and this resonates with your heart, and you actually feel I want to try this for my son, my daughter, then that's fine. And also, if you feel like, you know what, I don't want the sensory oils, can I just have a chat with you and chat to you about my child and their needs, and maybe get a couple for them? That's okay too. We can absolutely sit with you. If you're local to where I am in Somerset, we can have a coffee and a chat. And if you're not local, then we can have a Zoom chat. So that's absolutely fine. If you're in Europe, Sarah can have a chat with you. And we just get you connected to an oily community of special needs parents, and learn from each other, really. So we hope that you got something from this. You can connect with both of us. That's our numbers, and you've got our Instagram handles there as well, so you can take a little screenshot of that.
Don't be shy to reach out. We have WhatsApp as well.
We don't mind. You can absolutely do that. I think Dimple.
Hi.
Hi, Dimple. You're right.
Yeah, good. Thank you. It's been really informative. Thank you. There's no option to type a message, so I'm not sure. I just thought I'd raise my hand.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll probably try and remember to give you, obviously, remember to save your number, because I'd like to talk to you, Paris. Yeah, I think this is going to help in a lot of different ways, because I'm actually a carer for a friend's child, and I think a lot of these oils are going to help her. So
yeah,
I think
sharing them out. I mean, we're going to send you the video afterwards, so this will be. So if you think that you want to share it with someone and you think someone else is going to benefit from it, then send it.
Yeah, well, my other friend couldn't make it because her husband's been taken in hospital. So I want this video for her, really. She was meant to join. I think you know her, Paris, Sam.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
So yeah, but I think this oil is going to help me to feel calm as well. So I need the oil.
We will probably do a whole workshop just on for parents to help along.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely helpful, because I only recently started using a diffuser, but I've just got the Amazon oils, you need quite a lot of different drops in there to sort of make it worthwhile. But no, I think I've got your number saved in my phone. I'll have a look. If not, I don't know if you're around tomorrow, then maybe we can talk.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's so nice. Thank you for the nice feedback as well, because I was actually quite nervous to do this.
That's okay. I think Kerry, would you like to?
We are recording this. If you want us to do this off the recording, if you have any specific questions that you might not want to have on the recording, let us know, because I can also just stop the recording otherwise. Or otherwise, just go for it. We all try together.
Hi, sorry, I missed the first 15 minutes of the session because I just couldn't get the sound on for some reason. We were trying different devices in the house and everything was going wrong. But I was just have a question, because I have a lot of doTERRA oils anyway, through Rashna. I don't know if you know Rashna, she's my upline.
Rashna,
Yeah, but I missed obviously the first 15 seconds, and I did 15 minutes, and I didn't know if you had some kind of booklet or something you were saying about the protocol. And if it's okay for me to kind of still join and be involved, even though I have some of the oil, well, I have quite a lot of oils now.
Absolutely, yeah. If you get back to Rishna, she has the protocol and everything on her, so that'll
Right.
be the person to get, and she can get you connected with everything. So she's your lady. But yeah,
Okay.
we can do that.
I
Rishna
just
is
wanted
great.
to say one last thing. I'd really kind of like to be involved if there's some kind of parental support, because I actually just had a bit of a meltdown in the beginning because I couldn't get online. And I'm waiting for an autism assessment myself. But my son's 25 and nonverbal, and I have a daughter who's 12 and she is verbal. So we have quite an array of spectrum in our house, and I've had quite a lot of years of services and practice and information and whatever. So if I can be of any help at all,
Yes, thank you
not
so
necessarily
much.
the oils, I'm still learning, but the rest of it I'm happy to contribute.
Thank
That's
you.
so amazing. That's so amazing. Thank you
We've
so
got
much.
everyone's number, so you will be getting emails, and we're gonna give you our, I've got the WhatsApp group going, so we can all connect on there. So that would be great. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Julie.
Hi, I just wanted to say thank you to both of you for bringing this to us and doing it in such a personal way of your stories, which was great. But I also wanted to say about Symphony of the Cells. My daughter is 20 and has Down syndrome, and since I went to see to London as well, Paris, for the training, and I didn't know whether she would be able to do Symphony of the Cells on me, but she is doing it. And just tonight we both gave each other a protocol. I did the digestive on her and she did inflammatory on me. And it's just been life-changing. And like you said, Paris, it's just brought so much more to us using these oils and sharing with others as well, hasn't it? Just so much more confidence. And yeah, grateful for you and grateful for that, for Symphony of the Cells. So thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. Make me so emotional. I'm again. Great. Wow, thank you so much for sharing this, because yes, that's amazing. Wow.
Thank you. So we will, with that, before I start crying.
Before I'm complete mess, we have to stop now.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
yeah, let's stop. Let's all connect. Afterwards, you've got our numbers. So thank you so much for taking time out of your evening away from your children. I was gonna say, look, usually Zooms are the way they are, but with this Zoom, I actually didn't mind Aaron running in and running out, because I think everybody would have understood. That's what we want to create here. It's okay. We're okay. And all I want to say to all of you is that what, you're doing the best that you can, and we are blessed to have our children, and they are gifts. And keep saying that to yourself. You're doing amazing, because I think we all need to hear that now and again. So I just want you to take that away. So thank you so much, everyone, and have a good evening. Yeah, let's stay connected.
Yes, thank you so much, everyone. Talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.